So basically, man, to us, growthology is the science of growth. The concept is basically rooted in how in the hell can four guys be better than they were yesterday. We all are engaged in this thing called life, and every day, we're working to be better than we were yesterday, right? Some of us have goals of being great entrepreneurs, great in real estate, business, finance, barbering, but we all have learned things in our past, and our goal right now is basically to share insights on how we ultimately became who we are today, and also share insights on what are the things that we're doing today to help us basically become who we're trying to become in the future. Hey, what's going on, family? This is Rashad Grimes checking in. This is Growthology. This is our second episode. Today we have someone extremely special to the city of Birmingham, the one and only Randall Woodfin, the Mayor of Birmingham. At this moment, what we really want to do is start off by letting you guys know this is not a typical interview in which we're going to just talk about, hey, what are you doing in the city? And, just the typical things that we see on the news. What we want to do for the audience is we want to have a special moment to where we actually give you guys an opportunity to know Randall Woodfin, the individual, and not Randall Woodfin, the mayor. So with that being said, who is Randall Woodfin, not Mayor Woodfin?
Well, first of all, I'm glad to be here, man. I'm proud of you. It's cool to be on a podcast that's, got some power to it. And one that I can just speak real plain as a person. Mm. The truth is, it's not just a title of a book, but I'm truly a son of Birmingham. There's this thing about son, father. I put it in the context of student teacher. I actually like to be a sponge. I want to learn. I want to be poured into. It's cool to be a leader. But what I tell people is leaders like to be led. Genuine leaders like to be led. And genuine leaders are looking for leadership. So when I say son of Birmingham, just because I have a certain title position doesn't make me better than. I'm still learning, still exploring, curiosity still high. And not above anybody, but as a peer, I'm just trying to figure it out too, man. As a husband, as a now father and a bonus dad,
For sure.
as a sibling,
Yeah.
I mean, my sisters and I, even with the loss of our brother, my sisters and I have never been closer than we are right now in 2025.
Wow.
One is 3 years older, the other's 15 months apart.
Okay.
Oh man, we fought like hell.
Coming up.
Like any siblings would.
Yeah, like real family. Yeah.
But oh man, we're super tight now. We talk every day in the group text.
Wow.
The point is, man, I'm a brother. I'm a son, husband, father, and a servant leader to this community. That's who I am.
Yeah.
And can't forget one of the most important titles. I got some pretty dope friends, man, who hold me accountable, who push me, who I can be raw and honest with. So overall, setting aside titles, I can tell you this. Who is Randall Woodfin? The most important thing I can be is a good husband and a good father.
Above all.
Absolutely.
Wow, it kind of left us speechless. We weren't expecting that. But let's go into the book a little bit, right?
All right.
So one of the questions that I want to ask you is, or I want you to kind of dive into. In the book, you mentioned about your upbringing. Right. You talk about being raised by a village, right? Let's go back in time, right? You like Outkast, right?
Love Outkast.
You love Outkast,
I like
right? The best rap group, in your opinion. Let's go on a trip, right? We about to go to space. Well, not space, but let's go back. Close your eyes. We're going from the age of 11 to 17.
All right. I got that clear.
How was life for you in Birmingham?
Man, we had just moved from my neighborhood I grew up in, North Birmingham. So the transition was hard because I moved from a neighborhood where there was a candy lady and I learned to ride a bike and kicking it with my friends and walking to school and knew everybody. And to a neighborhood where it was a bunch of old people, no kids, and it was different. But I met a eventual friend who I now work with as my colleague, And we walked to the bus stop every day named Galvin Billups. It's the first person I met when I'm
Still friends to this day.
Still friends to this day.
Wow.
Leads Division of Youth Services for the city of Birmingham right now. Galvin stood out to me. He's probably the first left-handed person I ever met.
Okay.
I knew because the way he played basketball.
Yeah, lefty.
Yeah, full lefty. He's actually the first alpha I really got to know as well because he was older than me.
Okay. How many years?
Just one.
Okay, 1 year older.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we walked to the bus stop together every day. He was in the 7th grade, I was in the 6th grade. And I was transitioning to middle school. So what else do I remember? Putnam Middle School. I remember every 6th grade teacher. Mr. Washington, Miss Flowers, Miss Archie, Miss Snow.
They must have been real good teachers.
Yeah, Miss Snow was my reading teacher. Miss Archie was my math teacher. Miss Flowers was my English teacher. And Mr. Washington was my science homeroom teacher. And to this day, God rest her soul, Miss Snow passed away.
Okay.
But 3 of them, the other 3 I still talk to. As a matter of fact, in my 2021 re-election, 3 of them were in my campaign commercial. That's how cool. I'm 11.
Wow.
All right, so think about this. This is 1992. I'm 11 years old.
Wow.
I'm going to 6th grade middle school. What happens in the 7th grade is I'm 12, 13 at this point. Music just comes like at the forefront of what I'm doing. Part of it is because I'm also in middle school playing the drums.
Okay.
So I'm on the snare drum. I've always had affinity towards production, beats, music. Love rappers, but love the sound behind it as well. That G-Funk came out in middle school for me. So everything Dre was doing, I was like, this is dope.
Yeah.
I'm loving it, man.
We
beating on the desktop at school. Swear we
rap. Everything, yeah. All right.
Beat everything, bebop, everything. Gotcha. I swear we cool.
Gotcha.
Probably lame as hell. Cause we real nerds, bro.
Yeah. But you in it though.
No, like NTOs, nerds taking over. That's
exactly. Y'all had a whole group.
Yeah, okay. Real nerds, bro.
All right, go ahead.
Before for real.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember it like it was nothing. 7th grade, Outcast. Players Ball video. Come home, watch BET as soon as I got home.
Instantly.
All the rap videos.
Top 10.
And I remember Dre playing pool in the dungeon. And I was hooked ever since. Keep going. I remember all the J's. All the J's that came out.
What's your favorite pair?
The 11s, patent leather.
Wow, yeah. Can't go wrong with glasses.
Yeah, so, but I don't wear them. They were my favorite, but I don't wear them. The ones I actually favorite to wear are ones.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with the ones. You can't go, yeah. You got them, but you don't wear them. Yeah, they kind of special events.
Yeah, so I'm basically an odd man. I'm 1 3s and 11s.
Okay.
And
1
give me
11s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not really too.
He got gained of 13s.
Okay.
But I don't really wear those either.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna wear 1s and 3s.
That makes sense. To get a team time to come in with their questions, let's speed up on the back end. Teenage, real quick. Walk me through that 15, 17. What was that shift? Like, hey, it's real at this point.
Yeah.
Walk me through Birmingham.
The shift for me was like nothing was gonna be given.
Okay.
Like if you want me to be straight with y'all, when kids today are 16, 17 and they not working, I'm like, what you doing?
Yeah.
Like you just want people to give you money? You want your parents to just give you money?
Right.
I struggle with that. Because at 15, I started working.
Grocery store, right?
Yeah. I had a guy named Dale Smith. He wouldn't hire me at first because I was 15. I had to prove myself. I kept going back. I begged him to give me a job. He finally gave me a job. But what I realized was if somebody give you an opportunity, overperform.
Every time.
Overperform. So I'm 15. Everybody older than me, 16, 17, 18. Oh, man, that was more than bagging groceries, man. It was a way of take care of people. And he trained me how to take care of people. And then I took it to the next level in my own version of that, of like, there's a such, I call it overkill hospitality. I mean, overkill customer service.
Right.
Overkill customer service. But 6 months in, I know customer's name. I know which aisle they gonna come in to like check out. I know their car. I know their kids' names. I know everything. I'm in high school. These not $5, $10 tips. These $20, $30 tips because I
That's
took
bad.
care of them.
Wow. You can't get that.
Stretch a little
Bro,
bit.
you can't give a person a tip a public person now $20, $30.
No. So fast forward. Same time, I'm also become a leader at my church.
Okay. What church?
6th Avenue Baptist.
Okay.
Reverend Porter created a youth ministry that included dance and stepping. Because my sister did dance, and I was in step ministry. Well, again, all the guys older than me, 16, 17, 18, they chose me as the first step master, 15 years old.
Wow. So you kind of always been leading, always kind of, have the ability to put yourself out there in front of people.
Yeah, I was probably shy as I needed to be then, bro.
Wow.
But learning my voice at 15, working at 15, and in high school at 15 and trying to love girls. I was in love with all girls. All girls. But good times, man. I mean, the biggest thing in high school that I worried about, if I'm being totally honest with y'all, my brother was 8 years older than me. He was always in the streets. So I would always worry in high school a call would come or a door knock would come about he in jail or he killed or he shot.
Gotcha.
Worried about that all through high school.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I
I got a question. So leading up until, so we're on a timeline, leading up until high school, right? 17. Was there any like personal experience that shaped who you are today from then, from 11 to 17?
Yeah, that in-step ministry, man. I think apparently everything I've done, I've always been on the younger end. So if we're working backwards, running for mayor, I've literally started running for mayor. I was 35. Now I won when I was 36. People telling me you're too young, right? I ran for school board at 32. You're too young. Or working at 15. Why don't you wait to 16, 17 with other people while working? Or you lead in step ministry at 15. Everybody else on the step team are mainly 16, 17, some 18. So I think the thing that shaped me was that, like, don't let people tell you you can't do something just because you are younger or the youngest.
Right.
And I was told that a lot, but then I just kept proving otherwise. Like, even if you are the youngest, you can still lead.
Gotcha.
That was a big lesson because leading the in-step ministry at 15, working at 15, what it taught me was that I can do anything I want.
Early on.
Very on. You have to do it with a certain way. So if you know everybody's looking at you, if you know people are giving you an opportunity, again, another lesson I learned is overperform. It's not necessarily to please somebody else. It's just commitment and fidelity to whatever you're a part of. So if you're gonna be a bag boy, be the best bag boy. Do it better than anybody. If you're gonna be in the in-step, be Chris. If you're gonna be a leader, pull everybody in and lead them the best way you can.
Yes, sir.
So overperform, and age ain't. You can do anything even when you're young.
Yes, sir.
They kind of raised a question for me too as well. When it comes to like leadership, how important is like leadership?
So leadership's everything. You know, here's the deal, man.
Hold on. Say it again. You said you used to deal?
No, I said here's the deal.
I was about to say, hold on. We don't know about that side.
No.
You got to cut that out. I ain't know, Mayor Woodfin. You
No, I said here's the deal.
All right, let's go.
I'm on the record. Here's the deal. Leadership is not title. Don't think title. Because a lot of people have position and they have no clue what to do with it. And then you see that they actually can't lead at all. Leadership is about a couple of things. One is about the ability to have vision. So, can you see the forest? A lot of people can only see the trees, which is nothing wrong with that. You need people, tactical operations, get in the mud detail. But you got to have some vision up here, right? To be able to get people to pull along and follow Where are you trying to take them? That's one. Two, your ability to pull other people around you to lead as well. Biggest thing, the most important thing I've found in leadership is that it's not an island approach. Leadership is a team sport. So can you get people around you to move at your speed, to embrace the vision, and then execute on the things that need to be done for the organization, for the mission, whatever that is. And the third thing I would say is that when you are a leader, character matters. So beyond the mission, people look to how you show up. They look at your energy, they look how you talk. And then they look at you in moments where you're tested. When a person's disrespectful, when you don't win, when you lose, or you underperform, or you didn't meet the goal, or there's a problem that needs to be solved, or there's an emergency situation, how you show up. Can you be calm in the storm? Can you recalibrate? Can you shake off the losses and keep moving forward? Can you over communicate with your team and say, hey, we got to pivot, right? The ability to recognize this not working, so we're going to shift to something else, but not hold on to it for ego's sake. So if you want to know if I can make it real plain, a leadership journey requires an overwhelming amount of humility. You got to eat humble pie every day.
Every day.
Yeah, and humble pie actually tastes good.
Yes. So we're going to take a quick break right now, and we're going to come right back after this. All right, welcome back, everyone. Randall. Trying to see, should I call you Randall, Mayor Woodfin?
Call me Randall.
You Randall.
Actually, I tell everybody, so I won't always be mayor, so please call me Randall.
All right. Randall. Unfortunately, as mayor, you have to deal with two sides.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, three sides. Good, the bad, and the ugly. We could go to the good first. But we kind of want to get stuff going here. So let's get to the bad.
All right.
It's my question. As you know, Governor Ivey signed a bill that dismantled the previous water board's power here in Birmingham. It's all over the news. However, a lot of citizens feel that this decision is ultimately your fault due to not handling this issue over the last couple of years. Do you believe it's your fault? If not, could you take this time to explain how we got here and what's next?
Oh, yeah. Waterworks sucks. How about that?
Okay.
Let's start there. You know, my issues with the Waterworks are not new, but I'm also clear two wrongs don't make a right. So some history, the Waterworks is not a city of Birmingham department. We don't own it. We don't operate it. We don't manage it. I'm not in control.
Okay.
That needs to be clear. That needs to be on the record too.
Okay.
The Waterworks was sold, I think, before I can even vote.
Okay.
So all the Waterworks issues have started a long time ago.
And to break it down for the audience have no idea what you're talking about.
So
how was it sold and you all still have a hand in it? Walk us through the dynamics of that.
Yeah, so for years, the Waterworks is an independent organization. It's not managed by the city of Birmingham, operated, the city of Birmingham doesn't control it. Mm-hmm. However, when it was sold, the city council, which is the legislative branch of government, had all the appointments, total of 5. Back in 2016, there was a power creep. It expanded to 9 people. Okay. Because the Waterworks got nice and allowed portions of Shelby County, Blount County, St. Clair County, who all said, hey, Birmingham Waterworks, your water quality is so good. You have such an amazing system. Can we be a part of it? Okay. So the Waterworks, Birmingham Waterworks said yes. But this is still a city asset, as in the Waterworks is within the city limits of Birmingham.
The biggest population.
Yeah, 92% of those ratepayers who use it live right here in Jefferson County. Okay. we make up 44% Birmingham city limits before it expanded. That's all technical. Here's the deal. You have a Waterworks bill. The Jefferson County Commission tricked off your sewer bill. And all the Waterworks does is bill for the county. But the Waterworks is not responsible for the sewer bill. The county is. So when people say, why is my bill like this? What they really talking about is the sewer bill. But when all them commissioners got indicted, all them county people got indicted, your sewer bill going to keep going up.
Has nothing to do with the Birmingham City.
It ain't got nothing to do with the Waterworks.
At all.
But they bill, so they get blamed for it. County commission don't get no blame.
And county commissions are responsible for the increase in the heights.
And it's going to keep going up.
Okay.
So here's the real thread, the rub of what's going on with the Waterworks. Power. The powers in the appointed people. They have more power than the executive. They can appoint who get contracts, lobbying contracts, consulting contracts, engineer contracts, legal lawyer contracts, all of that. They can make unilateral decisions, which I disagree with. The power should be in the CEO executive.
Right.
That's why it became so political, because appointed people were making political decisions on who get to eat.
Right.
So state was like, we won't in on that. And that's what's in the power grab. And now they just took it, and now they're trying to make the same decisions.
So to give a little pushback on that, from objective point of view, the viewers are going to be like, well, hey, you saw this fire happening 2-3 years ago with all the fuss. Why or was anything done to put some of those flames out regarding some of the concerns that people feel like ultimately they led the state to come in? Because the state is saying, hey, we came in because it's being ran improperly. Yeah, some people saying
so that's just not true.
Okay, clarify.
There hasn't been any corruption in probably 10 years.
Okay.
There's no money problems, and you ain't got no quality water problems.
Okay.
So what's the real problem?
Some bigger picture that the people don't know.
Yeah, they got the power and they took it in Montgomery. This is a majority minority city.
Okay.
And they want the Waterworks. You know how many utility companies in the state of Alabama?
How many?
I don't know. It's too many. Most Bessemer got their own utility company.
Oh, so it's nothing like Alabama Power till you got Southern Company. They run pretty much the whole state.
No, there's
utilities are broken up across all
67 counties.
Wow.
Now name one where the governor and lieutenant governor got an appointment. Don't exist.
But because you are the biggest and most money is flowing through the most power, they want to be.
That's correct. Now, you know how many cities got corruption? You got a whole police department up here in North Coleman somewhere.
Yeah. You know not to go through Coleman.
Yeah. Real corruption.
Yeah.
Did the state take over their police department?
No, they appointed a regular designee to reshape it.
I ain't tripping. I don't like Waterworks politics, but ain't nothing illegal going on.
Right.
Ain't no quality water issues going on.
Right.
Ain't no mismanagement money going on.
Right.
There's been a bill to take over the Waterworks before I was mayor. The mission creep started when it went from just 5 people appointed by the city council in 2016. I wasn't even the mayor, to 9 people. They've been trying to take over the Waterworks board forever, and they just finally were able to do it. And they were able to do it in Montgomery, where the mayor of Birmingham doesn't have a voice.
So let's walk past this real quick, so the rest of the team can come in. Where do we go here? Where do we go from here now? Like, what's the next steps?
With the Waterworks?
Yeah.
Shit.
Is it over?
No, it's not over. One, we filed a lawsuit.
Okay.
Because this is the equivalent of a taking. We all live.
Taking.
No, we live in America.
Right.
Right. America says government has to be a representative form of government. So, for example, the school board has 9 people on it. It's broken down by districts. City council, broken down by districts, representative form of government. Your state house representatives, broken down by representative form of government. Same as your state senate, same as your U.S. Congress. Any public utility, by definition, they are public officials, and it's a representative form of government. In this case, the ratepayer. We, the city of Birmingham, make up 44% of ratepayers. At minimum, we should have 44%
of the vote. The biggest voice. Representation.
And they took it down to only 2 out of 7.
It's taxation without representation.
Right.
Hey, history. College educated.
Hey.
So let's go on to one of the brothers. What questions you guys have in regard to how Birmingham is doing the bad?
Well, I guess my question probably would be more so from your opinion.
Yeah.
It would be like, so what's one decision that you've made in office that you regret that you felt was good at that time?
I mean, I'm thinking about your question because it deserves an honest answer. I'm trying to remember a decision that I regret. I don't have any decisions I regret, honestly. Good. Now, let me put some context around that. Right? I'm trying to go through 7 years of every decision I make, which takes me a while. The Rolodex in my head is like, is there something I couldn't sleep with? I've been able to sleep with every decision I made.
Why?
I've done it in the best interest of the people I represent. It's come from a place of being transparent and honest. Right?
Yeah.
There's no decision I'm going to make that 100% of people agree with. I remove a Confederate monument. I'm going to have a lot of people cheering me on. And at the exact same time, I'm going to have a group of people and a lead person that says, Mayor Woodfin, if you come tear that statue down, I'm going to come down there with my AK-47 and blow everybody's head off. Yeah. Real, genuine threat. Mm-hmm. Dumb enough to do it on 911 and be federally indicted. Right? Yeah. Point is, that's an example of when I make decisions as mayor, everyone's not going to agree. During the COVID, first city in the state, I even did it before the state, mandatory mask. Some people said it was great. Other people jumped up and down. There's no decision I make where everybody agree with. So there's always going to be some people that really love the decision I make. Some people regret the decision I make. But I got a team of folk, and we are methodical. We're intentional. And everything is about, does this help people? Right. And if the answer is yes,
we're doing it.
We're moving forward.
Okay. Appreciate that.
My bad. No, go for it. In Birmingham, right? So if we go everywhere, it's violence happening everywhere, right? So in Birmingham,
it was,
but
talk that talk.
Here in Birmingham, how can we alleviate the gun violence that's going on here?
Yeah, so we're doing it, man. We're not gonna arrest our way out of it.
Say it again.
You're not gonna arrest your way out of violence in any American city.
And why is that?
It's easy. It's the way the system is designed. The way the system is designed is never meant for that. What you got to do is look at it as a toolbox and use all the tools. Enforcement is one, which via arrest. We're doing that, and we're doing that in 2025 like we've never done it before. Weekly. So much so the streets are very quiet. So much so that we have almost 80% clearance rate on homicides solved in 2025. Homicides are also down 43% right now in Birmingham, Alabama. Which has never happened in the last 10 plus years. So what we're doing is working, but we're also doing something else. And we got street teams on the ground right now, violence interrupters. These are people who are ex-felons, been in prison, maybe not. Maybe been in the streets, been drug dealers, been dope boys, been shooters. Somehow they made it to the other side. Now it is their job, it's their responsibility to tamp down all this retaliation, get in the mix and like cool situations down, mediate, get people to solve problems outside of picking up a gun, shooting each other. That is probably more powerful than any arrest could ever be.
Yes, sir. The presence, almost.
That's it. So our violence reduction initiatives are actually working, because we got people out in the street mediating beef between folk before they pick up a gun. And if they pick up a gun and they survive, still mediating that so they don't keep going back and forth.
So, go ahead, keep going.
The reason why I asked, because, I'm from Hoover, but I live in Birmingham now. So before in Birmingham, I would drive and I wouldn't be worried about police presence because I know it's not enough that's around. Now I'm scared to run a red light.
Yeah.
So kudos to you and your team.
Yeah, I mean, you got to penetrate the consciousness of our people. We got it in our head that when we drive through, we slow down. Why? Why is that in our head? We don't even live there.
Best David, yep.
Right? In Best David. Right? Mount Brook. We don't even want to drive through there. Why is that in our head?
They coming.
They penetrated the conscious where even if we don't know, you can get pulled over. Yeah. You want to shoot here? Go right ahead in 2025. Watch what's going to happen. You're going to be arrested.
Tell them, look.
And then to add on Facebook, look, it's so funny. It's like now if you see the post, now people getting arrested, you kind of get scared. Even if you're not doing nothing, you will just get scared from just seeing all these folks just arrested out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, and I ain't gonna lie, like, yeah, and it's like going off what you saying, like, going back to your generation, the 80s, it was early 90s, you know, there was this one, not to be funny, right? But you got Cash Money, right? And it's one of the songs they talk about.
Come on, man, Cash Money 2000, bro.
They talk about Tuesdays and Thursdays, right?
Yeah.
It used to be like the Jump Out Boys. And it's a real thing to where like you really kind of just told the audience what happened. Yeah, there's people in scat packs that you think
says sit your butt down.
Yeah, like,
you don't say that, but
so you are definitely extremely intentional about making a change and going about it, I think in an unconventional way.
Yeah, I mean, look, bro. We understand the hustle people gotta eat. Yeah. All that killing shit ain't necessary, bro.
Yeah.
Like let's cut to it.
Let's be real.
It's not necessary. First of all, you don't even know how to shoot. And then you killing innocent people, women and children and seniors, bro. Like, so you ain't even got no code. So now I ain't got no respect for you.
Yeah.
Then it's over some dumb stuff, bro. It's silly.
Yeah.
So now we got to give the shooters the attention they need. But what that does, it draw heat on the boys that just want to also make money.
Yeah.
Now it's too much heat in here. But that's because when we try to tell y'all to tamp down, you want to be high head. So now we got to bring all the heat. And when I bring all the heat, it ain't just BPD, bro. Feds, everybody.
He told y'all.
I actually did tell him. Yeah. I did tell him.
You did.
He said he gave y'all warning.
I actually said it.
So now it's no turning back. It's here and to stay.
No. I mean, why, man? When you start killing innocent people, bro, and you start killing kids,
it's time to go.
Yeah, and then where's the code? You're not going to turn yourself in. Nobody going to dime you out. So y'all comfortable with innocent people being killed and kids being killed? Forget you, man.
Let's go. But listen, we're going to take another quick commercial break and we're going to come back. All right, y'all, we are back. And I think I'm going to ask a question in regard to what a lot of people in Alabama have wanted to know for a long time. And I'm curious of your thoughts on this. So there's like this big rumor, and it actually, based on my own research, that it has some truth to it, that back way when, I don't know, 1930, 1940, the powers that be then made a strategic decision to turn away Delta. And when they turned away Delta, they went to Atlanta, and boom, Atlanta became Atlanta based off that and a lot of other decisions. But at that point, there was a decision that Alabama, or just say Birmingham specifically, was not going to become an Atlanta. I want to structure this question in regard to, is it your belief that Birmingham is a state economically small? And when I say economically small, I mean, hey, why don't we have an NFL team? Why don't we have an NBA team? Why is it that every time we get something, it appears that it's on a smaller, minute level versus like what Huntsville is going through right now, population growth, or with NASA, Facebook? What are you doing that we don't know about? Do you have a vision? Do you see Birmingham ever becoming like Atlanta? Is it in your thoughts or your plans? Let's just speak to Birmingham being small economically.
Yeah, so the best way to answer this is with pure, sincere honesty. And the truth, fellas, is Birmingham has to get busy being the best version of itself. Okay. Not to try to be like another city.
Okay.
The best cities are the ones who lean all the way in on their economic identity. Now, the way I describe it is, City of Birmingham was founded in 1871. Everybody knew what the economic identity was for decades. because of the natural resources here, we were able to produce steel that allowed scores and thousands of people to move here from all over the country. We got our nickname Magic City because the population just skyrocketed overnight. And that was booming until steel was shipped
Across seas.
And Birmingham's economic identity was like, oh, what the hell, what are we going to do? So full transition. You know what the second iteration of the economic identity was? It was centered around healthcare, UAB. It was centered around financial services. I mean, we were holding banking and financial services down in the Southeast, the second largest, believe it or not, after Charlotte,
Right,
for quite some time.
Who else left?
All the banking capital, all the
Yeah.
banks headquartered here, all the
Yep.
financial services headquartered here, like holding their own. But we saw the iterations of banking change 2003, 2008, and all the downturns we've had. Financial services has changed each time. So now we find ourselves looking for what will be the third iteration of Birmingham's economic identity. What is that? I think it's this intersection of healthcare, innovation, and biotechnology. So where UAB, Southern Research meets genomics and personalized medicine, and the ability to produce medicine here, but spin off and commercialize it and produce thousands of jobs. So I believe we're in the ability over the next 10 years, if we get that right,
So
that produces tens and thousands of jobs the same way steel did in the early 1900s.
So for a little pushback to the average listener, when they think medicine, right, when they think research, the average person really has no thorough understanding of that. Walk us through how could a medical industry create tens of thousands of jobs?
Yeah, so look, it's quite simple. Black people here in this community, whether it's diabetes, whether it's heart issues, respiratory issues, or any underlying health issue that exists. We know it exists in spades because it was all exposed during coronavirus.
Right.
We lost family members, we lost neighbors, we lost church members, we lost loved ones. And we didn't lose them because of COVID. We lost them because COVID exposed the underlying health condition.
Okay.
Well, think about every year somebody's in the lab cooking up some life-saving medicine to save lives, change lives, reduce illness and unhealthy situations. Well, what if you can produce that medicine right here, and the spin out of producing that life-saving medicine builds and creates jobs? That's what they do in Cambridge, Boston area with biotechnology.
Okay.
That's with Harvard. That's what they do with Johns Hopkins in Baltimore. That's what they do in Palo Alto, San Francisco area with the production from Stanford.
So it is
research. Oh, yeah. So think about the spinoff of research and medicine at UAB. Now you can produce jobs.
Wow.
So the whole notion is very simple. I know that sounds technical, but hell, average person don't know what goes into making steel either. They just want to get in their car, or they want to get in a safe elevator.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Well, you want that genomics and that biotechnology and that research, so we can save granny life and your family member life and your coworker's life, and that's going to produce thousands of jobs.
And that's going to lead to the ultimate trickle effect of migration of people coming in here, people building clubs and people, sports investments, debt.
Yeah,
creates everything.
The city's population is going to be centered around a couple of things. One, job opportunity. Two, no particular order, by the way. Two, the school system.
Yep.
And then three, your city live and popping. People want to be there because everybody else there.
Yeah. And they can't exist without each other. They all need all three in order to have a stable foundation.
You need a minimum of one. And you can always work on the other two. You probably won't get all three in spades at the optimal level you want, but you got to get one right. And we busting our butt to lean all the way in on two of them, changing Birmingham's economic identity, to make sure we create jobs and opportunity for people who live here and to attract talent.
Okay.
But two, I'm all in on the schools, man. We got to do everything we can to educate our kids. You can't ignore it. And poverty always been here.
Yeah.
But poverty's not going to be an excuse why our kids can't read, can't finish school, and can't be gainfully employed. And we're going to bust through that wall. We don't care how long it takes.
100% agree. So with that being said, talking about something great and good within the city, let's go into the good of Birmingham before we close. Let you guys take over.
Yes, sir. So, what are the city biggest goals or projects over the next 5 to 10 years?
And one of the biggest one is to sustain and create an endowment in perpetuity for what's called Birmingham Promise. We want to make sure any high school graduate, as soon as they walk off that stage, they can go to any college, university in the state of Alabama tuition free. I don't care if they a senior this year, 6th grade currently, 2nd grade currently, not born. This program going to exist well beyond me being mayor. That's one. 2, that economic identity I told you about. Once we've identified what our economic strengths are, it's time to lean in and just focus on job creation, man. I want to put young black men to work. There's a formula that exists today that says young black boys not in school plus black men unemployed equals higher crime. Well, if we know that's the formula, I got to make sure that these young boys graduate, but I also got to employ these young black men. I told you we're going to rest our way out of it. By employing, also make sure the young ones actually finish school. We not only going to decrease crime, we're going to increase literacy. We're going to increase home ownership. We're going to put cash checking places and predatory
Pawn shops
out of business. We're going to have men who take care of their families. Community's going to be safer. Community's going to be cleaner and everything else you want.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
That's what the focus is.
Yes, sir.
Well, what questions that we're not asking that we should be asking, or something that you just want to share to the audience that we haven't covered?
Yeah, look. Democracy is a team sport. It was never meant for y'all to just have a mayor and a city council and them 10 people out of 200,000 people, the only people responsible for making Birmingham better.
Right.
That's not only unrealistic, that's not sustainable. Everybody got to do their part. So we want the city of Birmingham to be better. This is the city. The city's made up of 23 communities. Those 23 communities made up of 99 neighborhoods. But each neighborhood has streets, and then each of those streets have blocks. And when I would tell people how democracy works is in that one individual block. If you just be a good neighbor, you do your part. You respect your neighbors, you trust your neighbors. You see ill stuff or wrong stuff, call it out right there. See trash on the ground, pick it up. Then all of a sudden that street get better.
Right.
And everybody on the street doing the same thing, all of a sudden that whole neighborhood better. And then it turns out that neighborhood better, that community's better. And if you say the communities are better, whole city of Birmingham better.
Wow.
So everybody's focused on what the mayor and the city council doing here, then everybody ignores what's happening right here.
Stuff that we can control.
It's full control. It's full control. It's full control. What's an example? In the block right now, because it's been raining so much, grass is overgrown on an empty lot that the city don't own. But the city get all the flack, but the private person who own it, nobody calls them out. Or being good neighbors, because a senior elder lives next door,
Cut the grass.
the other neighbors just say, we'll go cut it ourselves. We're waiting on the city. Well, if it's thousands of those
Across the city.
how many times you think we can get to that one?
Right.
So neighbors being good neighbors, understanding that we all got a role to play in making Birmingham better, not just the mayor and the council.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is like the basis for community development is self-improvement.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
That's it. Like it's really like, that's what I mean by democracy is a team sport. You can't put 10 people in the boat, but you can't put 10 people in the boat and expect them to be the only 10 people that row and they're going to get from point A to B. You take all 200,000.
Right.
Yeah.
Take all 200,000. That means you can't, it's easy to be on Facebook calling out what the mayor not doing.
Right.
That's easy.
What are you doing?
That's light work.
Yeah.
Right. When the last time even if you got to go to neighborhood meeting. When the last time you helped a senior or elder out? When the last time you went and volunteered at the elementary school you went to? When the last time you read to a kid? When the last time you cut a senior yard? When's the last time you saw someone on the ground, you picked it up? Or inverted? You just threw stuff out your car window the other day when you got to the stop sign. But you complain how nasty the city is.
What you want?
What you talking about?
You want to do that in Hulu? You want to do that at home?
Wow.
Everybody do their part, man. Democracy is a participatory sport. Everybody just do their part. Right?
Yes, sir.
What's your lane? Are you the best in your lane?
Gotcha. So one of the things we want to talk about before we close, our whole podcast is based on self-improvement.
Yeah.
And I think if anybody was to read your book, which is a great book, if you guys haven't grabbed it, you have to grab it. It's called The Son of Birmingham by Mayor Randall Woodfin. It's his memoir. If you want to know anything about this person, it's a tell-all in here. He holds literally nothing back. We all have read it. Outstanding book. Where can I get this book at?
Go to sonofbirmingham.com, local bookstore, Little Professors. You've got other bookstores such as Thank You Books, as well as Barnes and Nobles, Books A Million, and other stores.
And he forgot it's on Audible, because I got it on Audible and he's narrating it.
Definitely
So,
on Audible.
you only have to go to the store. You can literally get it on Audible, $9.99, and you guys can read everything or listen to everything about him. With that being said, personally, you becoming who you are and who you still are becoming, because now it's like life are phases, right? So now you're a husband, father. Self-improvement. Walk us through your regimen, right? Of, how you stay grounded to make sure that, like, hey, I'm not being stagnant. I'm working towards being a better me. And that better me embodies you being a son, you being a father, you being a husband, the mayor. What does that constant self-improvement journey look like? And how would you, just inspire other people to do that in their life?
So the best form, or one of the best forms, not the only form, but one of the best forms of self-improvement is easily not to be selfish.
Yeah.
So when you are a husband and when you are a father, you can't wake up thinking about you. You need to wake up thinking about the people you're responsible for.
Yeah.
Man, I'm responsible for 3,000 employees in the city of Birmingham. 100 of those are appointed by me. I'm responsible for them. So I wake up every day, I come to City Hall, I realize people are watching me, I have to lead them. I'm also leading my household as a husband and a father. So I wake up, I think about the needs, the desires, the wants, the issues of my wife and the kids. So I'm motivated to be the best version of myself because I'm putting them first. Or here at City Hall, I'm putting the residents first. And it turns out, man, when you step outside yourself, that's what I mean by not being selfish, you get some clarity. But that clarity allows you to be physically fit. So I work out. But the more physically fit you are, the more mentally sharp and emotionally sharp you can be. Right? But my wife's more spiritually than I am. Like, she's more spiritually advanced than I am. So I told you, as a son of Birmingham, I'm also a sponge and a student. So I'm learning from my own wife how it's all connected. Your physical walk and physical health is connected to your mental, emotional, but also your spiritual walk as well. And when you kind of make all those things work, there's only one more thing to do. And that is in all spaces, public and private, in front of friends, in front of strangers, on social media or at a bar, is to always be your most authentic self. It is not to put on any front for anybody.
Yeah.
It is not to be fake or try to prove anything to anybody. It is literally to be yourself. And it turns out, man, in all the spaces and aspects of life, authenticity still leads.
Every time.
So that's what I would say. That's how I would answer that question.
Before we wrap up, I want one of you guys to ask Mayor Woodfin anything in regard to another self-improvement regimen that he may have that you guys are interested about, or that you feel like that ultimately will help our audience in regard to their journey to becoming a better version of themselves.
I'm going to jump in. I'm going to jump in.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to jump in.
Go ahead.
Here's one example. what you eat and what you drink are important. We all got our things we love. I'm not saying don't do it, but man, like fasting is a real thing, and I'm not speaking from a religious standpoint. I'm speaking from a discipline commitment standpoint.
Controlling the flesh.
Yeah. So here's an example. Let's say you like a lot of drinks. Try not to drink a drink for one day. But it turns out if you cannot do something for one day, then you cannot do it for a week. And if you cannot do it for a week, turns out you cannot do it for 30 days. But that then turns out if you cannot do it for 30 days, you cannot do it for a whole season. And you'll be amazed what happens after one season. You'll be amazed.
Coming to a whole new person.
Yeah. You drink that drink after 90 days, you're like, this tastes funny. Right?
Yeah.
But that's with food too. Or for me, sometimes it just depends on time and space or where I am in life. Sometimes I'll just eat 2 meals a day. I'll fast the first half of the day. I'll wake up, work out, only drink water, and won't have a meal until probably after 12. First meal won't be to after 12.
So that's the best way to lose
But
weight as well.
that's not about losing weight. That's not about looking a certain way. It's more about, do I have the discipline and the commitment to stay with something? And man, when you can do it in one aspect of life,
Transcends.
you can apply it to other aspects of life that you're wanting to perform in the most optimal way in. Relationships, work, the young lady you're dating,
Everything.
your hustle, whatever it is. It's really about commitment and discipline.
Gotcha. Well, listen, we're about to wrap it up. Right before we wrap it up, you've done this 1,000 times. I need you to tell the city of Birmingham why you should be the mayor for the 3rd time in a row.
Look, y'all, the work is not done. It has been the honor of my life to serve as mayor. The truth is, in this opportunity that you given me, because I realize you give it to me, I have to earn it, is that the work we're doing in decreasing crime, we're also increasing opportunity. The work we're doing in educating our kids is to make sure we can solve for the future and give them more opportunity. And the last thing is quite simple. We got to fix potholes, y'all. So let's keep going. Let's keep the city cleaner. Let's keep decreasing crime. And let's keep providing more opportunity for our young people.
All right, y'all, we heading out. As you guys know, growth ain't easy, but it's necessary. We out.